Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and it's time for a match preview. Yes, you might have watched the podcast yesterday. If you haven't, then I urge you to go and check it out. But we're going to have a shortened sort of match preview today before Celtic head to Easter Road tomorrow, a ground which we did have a lot of bad luck in. We ended that hoodoo, and we've had a decent run of form against Hibs. Can we continue it tomorrow after yet another Europe disappointment? So, as I said, match preview time. If you're new to the channel, if you haven't already, please make sure to go down below and hit the subscribe button. It would be much appreciated. We are so close to 33,000 subscribers, so please, if you haven't, go down there, hit subscribe, hit the like button as well so more people find the content. And let's get into talking about this game tomorrow as we can try and extend our lead in the Cinch Premiership for at least a short while. So we sit in a similar position to last week where I sat and done my match preview and I spoke about the fact we had to make up for a little bit of a disappointment in Europe. We had to get back to winning ways. And this is almost the same sort of feeling going into this game. Now, using the phrase back to winning ways sounds sort of weird. It sounds wrong considering our form in the league has been impeccable as of late. We have been winning. Winning ways is what we know. However, there has been a couple of banana peels in amongst that in Europe, and it's time to try and move on from it. It is a disappointment. It's something that is probably going to annoy me for a little while, to be quite honest. I know not all fans are in the same boat, but I really wanted to make a go of this competition. However, we need to get over it, we need to concentrate in the league now, and we need to try and use that to our advantage. Look, listen, there was a lot of people who were on the side of Celtic support saying, you know, if we got through Bodo, Rangers didn't get through Dortmund, then there could have been a worry that we would slip up and we'd have more games to play. Well, the fence is, we're on the other side of the fence now, the tables have turned. I'm not going to use that as an excuse or say that's going to happen because I think it's extremely, I don't know, I feel like it's a sort of lazy argument at the end of the day. Both teams have something to focus on. We both know what's at stake. But there is definitely some sort of psychological and maybe physical advantage to the fact that we will be playing less games and we should be taking advantage of that. And the reality is, we now have the chance every week to put a bit of pressure on Rangers. And it starts this week. Rangers are going to be playing a couple of Sunday matchups because of Europa League games, whereas we'll probably play on Saturdays or we'll be early on a Sunday. Just like we are this weekend, we could extend the lead to 6 points and then suddenly the pressure's on Rangers, who haven't been great at dealing with pressure in domestic scenarios over the last few years. The pressure is on them to go and get a result in the following fixture. So we have a big chance ahead of us and we should be taking every opportunity we get for that. Exploit it. Try. I'm pretty certain if we get to 6 points clear, we'll just grow in confidence and we'll get closer and closer to that league title. You just got to hope, of course, that somebody does a favour in one of the other games, but we'll focus on our own game, we'll get our heads down. And Easter Road, it's not the easiest one to start off this little run now, but it's somewhere that we did improve on early in the season, and it's against a team who haven't had a great season, and we've been great against as of late. Now, I think one thing that we need to talk about is the fact that there probably is a bit of pressure on Celtic to go and win this game now. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that there wasn't pressure already, because there was. There's pressure to win every single game now. The fact is, we are top of the table and we need to keep it that way, so every game does come with pressure, but I think there is a slight added pressure to this game, down to the fact that we did admit defeat on Thursday. We didn't play our best team. I think Ange shown that this game was his priority, and to make up for losing that game, winning this game becomes all the more important. If you suddenly go and now drop points in this game, you've got that double whammy of changing things up, admitting defeat on Thursday, and then dropping points against Hibs tomorrow. That can't happen. I think there has to be an understanding, the pressure on Celtic to win this game, which there already was. This is a big pressure season now. From now to the end of the season, every game comes with that, but I think there is just that slight added bit because of what we did on Thursday. We are going to probably put out the players who didn't start the game against Bodo Glimt, and they're going to have to go out there and give us one of their best performances to try and, take that loss out of our heads, but also just to bring the feel-good factor back to the level it was. I don't think that's gone away exactly, but there definitely has been a little hit because of how poor we were across that tie. 5-1 on aggregate, shouldn't be happening. But yeah, I think that this game is now an even more must-win because of what we did against Bodo, and I think the manager will understand that, and I trusted him fully to bring that across to the team and give us one of our better performances of the season. Yeah, let's talk about the opposition a little bit, because they're a side that haven't had a great season. I think they're still feel in that transition with Sean Maloney, they're a side that I feel is hard to judge right now. They need a summer under their belt to really be a side that can challenge and be back up where they should be. I think they're still fourth on the table just now, which isn't that bad. But they aren't a great side this season. I think that's clear for everybody to see. It's been a real struggle for Hibs. They haven't really got to grips with Maloney quite yet. I don't think the results haven't been there. The last couple have been decent. They've done well, of course, against Arbroath in the Cup. I think it was Ross County in their last league game as well. They managed to get a win. But beyond that, a couple of losses, a draw with Hearts as well. They maybe are showing signs of development, but I think they're still very much in that transition, as I said. And they're not the Hibs side that were last season, or the season before. I don't feel like they're as good as what they could be. And we've shown that. We went to Easter Road earlier in the season. We ended that poor run of form that stretched away back to 2014. We beat them in the cup final as well, in a game that we were really good in. Kyogo Furuhashi got a couple of great goals. And also, we beat them at Celtic Park as well. So we've beat them 3 times on the bounce. And it's about making that 4 times on the bounce in this game. But they will be difficult. And Easter Road is, of course, a tough place to play. Yeah, Maloney will be desperate for a performance, I think. And that's one thing we've got to take into account. I think this is a side who we really... And you look, they played really well against Hearts. And what was a big game for them. I think that this is the sort of game, especially with their own support being at Easter Road, that Maloney will want to go out and make a statement, and they will be playing some football. I think they're not going to sit behind or nothing. That's not Hibs. They're always a team that bring us a game, but I think Maloney will be desperate to try and show more signs of this developing Maloney football, you could say. And Celtic is a team that we're going to probably try that against. I'd imagine they'll want to see a lot of the ball, as much of the ball as they can, and it's all about us trying to stop that. One thing we can't do is fall into the trap that we did against Bodo Glimt and allow them to get too comfortable and show them too much respect. I know it's a completely different animal playing a side that are the Norwegian champions and then Hibs, but if we show them too much respect, they could easily do what Bodo done in place off the park. I think Bodo have really shown the sort of formula to try and get in and about us and get the defence roughed up, and they cause a lot of issues. We sat off them too much. If we do that against Hibs, they have got the talent to do so. I know they've not got, the likes of Martin Boyle anymore, but they have still got talented players in that squad. And if we show them too much time and space in the ball, they will make the same sort of dent in the game that Bodo did at times. So it's about getting back to our base football. I think that we've got to get back to basics and do what Ange Postecoglou's done best. I think that's maybe slipped away from us the last couple of games. Even against Dundee, you've seen signs of that. We conceded 2 goals to Dundee at Celtic Park. I think we need to just calm things down and be a lot more assured with what we're doing. That confidence needs to come back into the side, because I've seen a lot of people in the comments section complaining about that. In fact, the last few performances that stretch beyond Bodo, since maybe Rangers, haven't been the greatest. We haven't looked at ourselves, and to an extent I can maybe see where people are coming from with that. We've still been winning games, but maybe not to the same effect that we were beforehand. So I think that it's about us getting back to our basics. We don't let Hibs get in amongst us and rough us up, because they have got players to do that. They will try and shake the confidence. You know what Porteous, for example, is like, and players like that. So it's all about just getting ourselves together, getting back to our best, and bringing a real sort of calmness back to the team that we maybe haven't had in the last few games. So, team prediction, as I said earlier in the video, it's got to be weird considering Ange made all those changes. We would expect to go back to the strongest team now. This is a game that we really need to go for. Heart and goals, I think the back 4 has to go back to the 4 for me, that is Juranovic. This is the thing, the back 4 is taking a lot of criticism at the moment, I think, and especially in that left back area. Taylor had a poor game against Bodo last week, and then Scales had a poor game against Bodo the other night. I think it has to go back to Taylor at left back for me though. Juranovic on the right. Put Juranovic on the right. He needs to play on the right. It's his position. Starfelt and Vickers, centre halves. Ahead of that, I don't see Beaton being back in the team this weekend. Maybe a wee couple of games out to try and get back to a confident level. But McGregor, I think, will be in there with Hatate coming back in the team, and O'Reilly as well. I think that'll be the midfield 3. And as for the front 3, I think that I'd like to see Abada and Jota back in the wings with Giakoumakis up front. I think the team picks itself this weekend, I really do. Has to be back to its best. I think that is its best at the current moment. So I expect and hope to see it back to that. But aye, that's basically it. You know, this Saturday morning, if you're going out tonight, enjoy yourselves. Don't be too rough for the game tomorrow. My score prediction, I'm going to go for Celtic 2, Hibs 0. Hopefully a win. I'll take any sort of win. Try and get 6 points ahead of Rangers before they kick off tomorrow afternoon. Right, that'll do it. Like and subscribe as I've already said. Enjoy yourselves this evening, ladies and gents, and I'll see you all next time.